World War I obviously affected Hay greatly. I mean, we've got about 25, 30 names here. There's actually a group of men who were all lost in one action in 1915, and in such a small community, of course, it really must have hit home. Besides the other things from World War I, the empowerment of women, of course, which I think was a great legacy of World War I, was the empowerment of women. It is obviously affected a lot of the town. One of the significant families in Hay over the last 150 years have been the Grant family, up until they closed their newsagent shop only in the last 20 years. And one of the sons of the original Grants was Second Lieutenant Henry Norman Grant, who lost his life on the 1st of July 1916 at the Somme. It appears that he died very early on in the attack. The family still has letters from Mr. Grant saying how he was excited to be a member of the army and how he'd gone through his training. He was also very excited to be joining the Lancashire Fusiliers, because the Lancashire Fusiliers were a very noted regiment. They performed extremely well at Gallipoli, and they were used in the forefront of the attack at the Somme in 1916. And we were very lucky to get these things off the Grant family. They sent us photographs and a few articles. And there's a very sad bit where someone from the Red Cross, via the Red Cross, wrote to the family saying how they were close to Mr. Grant at 7:30 in the morning. And I mean, this would be 5 minutes after they set off from the sunken lane where they were formed up. And he saw Mr. Grant die, got hit just 10 yards away from him on the way. You know, it's one of the most sorry stories, and the one we managed to get a lot of information about with the memorial. Another name which was a local family is Lieutenant Morris. His father was the local school teacher on Brecon Road. There were several schools in Hay then. He was the headmaster. Second Lieutenant Morris again lost his life on the Somme, but in October. And I remember my grandfather was in school, and this was a very hard headmaster. You know, you had to doff your cap to the vicar, or you'd have the cane. And he remembers him coming into the classroom and breaking down in tears as he told the children in school that his son had been killed. So a very sad story. Yeah. And one of, like what I said, of many stories the same. You know, very sad for the families. Still living in the area, we certainly have a relation of these two second lieutenants, two brothers, the St. George Cartwrights. There's a great nephew of theirs, I believe, still lives in the area. If we come onto this board here, Lance Corporal Baker, who is loosely related to me. Also, his brother here, one was killed in Gallipoli, the other in northern France. There's another gentleman here called Magnus, whose son, great-grandson, I think, still lives in the area, so there's still a few around here. Well, the saddest stories, of course, we've got 2 or 3 sets of siblings. We've got the Baker brothers mentioned up here, the 2 second lieutenants, Cartwrights, and on the other side of the memorial here, we have 2 brothers, Private C. Lewis and T. Lewis, who I happen to know their father actually died just before the war as well, so their mother was left, you know, husband and 2 sons down in a very short time.